All right, what is up, everybody? Clint Esposito here with Rasmus for Skull and Bros number 8. What's up?
Yeah, buddy.
So today we're going to talk about Elon Musk is a very polarizing individual, and people are either like he's here to be our savior, or they're like
Yeah,
he's part of the machine.
yeah.
Um, which I mean, I'm torn on it as well, right? Because he does say a lot of stuff where you're like,
He
like,
he he says a lot of shit that makes a lot of sense, I think. He
eh,
was even he was even talking about AI and how dangerous it can be and stuff like that.
yeah,
And what he's done with Twitter, I think is great. Even though I don't even use Twitter anymore, but yeah. But on the other hand, then he's the new world order.
exactly. That's the
Did you
whole
s-
thing.
did you see the picture of him this could have been fake. I saw it a few days ago where he was wearing a jacket, and on the back of it, it was like maybe in a different language or something, but it spelled out New World Order
I
on his
didn't see
jacket.
that.
Well, I'll try to find it and send it to you if I can.
Yeah, let's see if
Order
I
on his
didn't see.
jacket.
Oh yeah, we are on. It's working on Rumble and everything today, so we're full on.
All right.
Look at
YouTube also.
YouTube and Rumble. Look at us.
Look at us. Awesome.
Um, okay, so yeah, he does. He says a lot of things. He says a lot of things like he speaks out against really big entities, and obviously to some extent is trying to restore free speech. I know accounts still do get like suspended or whatever on Twitter periodically,
Yeah.
but it's much better, and he brought a bunch of people back.
Yeah.
And he definitely calls out the media and stuff like that. Everybody tries to act like you're either like a saint or evil. Like
Yeah. It's
people
black and white.
yeah, like people don't like have some beliefs that you probably agree with and some beliefs that you probably don't agree with.
Yeah.
And that's
It's
across
so ridiculous.
yeah, that's across the
Same
board
with
with everybody.
Democrat and Republican. It's like red or blue. What I can't agree with a little bit of both.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. Well, that's how
what's the
they've made
beef?
it so that you're either
Yeah,
like this side or this side. But in reality, we know that most people are probably somewhere like meandering in the middle. And like you
yeah,
said, on this case, I am left leaning, and on this case, I'm right leaning. Like,
yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's almost like Rogan always says that because people accuse him of being like right leaning
yeah,
or even extreme right, fucking, But it's like he's all for, um, Medicare, maybe not that system, but like free healthcare for everyone and
right.
like a bunch of left leaning things also. Well, why can't it be both? Can I like guns and wish that everyone had healthcare?
No, you
That's no.
you also can't have guns and abortion,
Yeah,
or religion, and it's like
yeah, yeah. It's weird.
most of us are in the middle, like I said.
Yeah,
Oh, I
for sure.
realize you can't
The
say that.
question is, where is Elon Musk
Yeah, exactly.
on all
Well,
this, right?
so I'm gonna start with his mom, actually. So you might be able to see it if you're on the live, Rasmus.
Y-
But
Yeah.
so I've got a picture pulled up of or like it's a collage of pictures of his mom doing the one-eyed thing,
Hmm.
covering her eye, and then doing this thing. I don't know what that means. But in the other ones, one of her eye is normally
Oh, I
there's
see.
there's two with her right, and there's two with her left covered, which it's
Yeah.
normally the left.
Does that make it like? Because I'm not sure about all that symbolism stuff. Is it right hand, left hand? Does it make a difference?
Well, so that's what I was looking into a little bit. I kind of found some like convoluted explanation of it. It wasn't necessarily just like left means this, right means that. It's like
Yeah.
most of this stuff apparently goes back to like Egyptian um culture,
Mm.
where they're talking about Horus's eye getting taken out and Ra and all that stuff.
Huh.
So, you know, it is just a
It is weird.
it's
But
very weird.
I've seen two different ones. One is when they do this and they cover the eye completely.
Yeah, exactly.
And one I've seen the picture you had there when they do this kind of thing.
Well, so she had both. His mom there's
Uh,
pictures of both. She's either covering or doing that.
yeah. What's the difference between those two?
I don't know. We're gonna have to dive into it a little better,
Yeah,
but
do you remember like, this sign like I'm okay?
yeah, they're trying to say it's racist.
Yeah, because it's a W and a P, right? So it's white power.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah, no, it is, but like that's what they were saying. Because I think it came when Trump was in office, because he would talk when he
Mm,
talks, he goes like this, and he does that, like it's tremendous, and he goes like that, and
really,
they're like, it's white power. He's a fucking racist,
it's
which he might be. I
hilarious.
don't know, but yeah. Also, it just means okay or good.
Right, that's what most people think it means.
Yeah, it doesn't have to have everything. Doesn't like how people talk like this and they do the pyramid.
Yeah,
That also like people go nuts about that. If someone does this, they're like, he's the Illuminati.
yeah. Well, so this is supposed to like help you focus or think or something, putting your hands like that.
Oh, really?
But
Huh.
again, also obviously they call symbolism, and there's even just like who was it? Jay-Z was always doing.
Oh, yeah, he was. Yeah, yeah,
So it's like, again,
yeah.
all this shit is.
But that's funny. My one of my buddies, he's way deeper than me on all this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and he even said he watched. I think Beyonce had like a documentary or a concert that was on Netflix,
Uh-huh.
and he was saying like if you watch it, like, and I watched parts of it, the whole thing is fucking satanic.
You may be talking about. Is it a recent video? Like,
No, it's probably a year old or something.
oh
But
well,
I'm
yeah.
sure she kept going
Well,
after that.
that's what
I
I mean.
mean,
Recent as far as like not like super old stuff. So
yeah, it's not
it
super old. Yeah.
may be the song that Elon's mom is in the video for.
Oh, is she in the video
She
for
was
what?
just in a
Is it Beyonce song?
yes,
Whoa, that's crazy. For real.
and it's a creepy like song. I watched the video as well, and there's a bunch of satanic shit in it. So now I got a picture of
Whoa,
Elon's mom pulled up where she's got this headdress
the
thing on
horns.
that looks like Baphomet.
Yeah.
Um,
Whoa, that's kind of crazy. So she's actually in the video.
and now, yeah, we need to find. I was
Whoa.
looking, scanning through it. I didn't see where she was, but now here's Elon dressed in his Halloween costume called Devil's Champion with a Baphomet and an upside down cross on it.
I can't see it yet. The YouTube is lagging behind a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, there. Oh, wow. What's with the? Yeah, I know we touched on it before, but this satanic shit is like
Well,
it's so weird to me because growing up, that was like fantasy movies where people were like, he's the devil
right.
worshippers and the other, like that was fantasy. But now it seems like it's so real and it's being not only real, but it's being pushed. Like, was it the what's his name? The guy. I think he's gay, a singer,
I know
fat.
exactly who you're talking about. Old Town Road guy.
Yeah, I think that's him.
Um,
This he's got like one of these common names,
Little
like
Nas X.
oh well, him too. He was doing lap dances on the Devil's
Yeah,
Cross, and
exactly.
he was. Yeah, but not him. It's not him. It's one of these white people.
Oh, the white country guy or whatever that
The
just did
the fat
the
guy,
yeah, that just did
the Emmys or
yeah,
Grammys or
exactly.
yeah, all of it's like satanic.
And if
All of
you
it.
look, did you have you seen his music before?
No, I saw
They
pictures of him from like 10 years ago though.
yeah, exactly. Looks totally
He's like a
different.
normal.
Yeah, and if you listen to his music, it's just like regular like country or whatever the poppy country or whatever
Really,
the hell he plays. Yeah, it's not anything like it at all,
he's been bought.
dude.
He's been bought, just like Beyonce. Because if you go back and look at Destiny's Child or any of the old stuff, it seemed kind of innocent. Like
Yeah.
it's just pop or R&B or
Yeah, it's weird that
whatever.
artists go that way, right? If it's not some kind of thing going on, it's weird that all these artists go from pop, whatever, to like being all about the occult or whatever
Yeah,
whatever is going on with them. Because it definitely gets weird. All those guys, like I said, I thought you were talking about Little Nas X, which so they both did
yeah,
the exact same thing. Even
yeah,
Katy Perry, think about Katy Perry went from Christian music.
yeah. Is she doing like devil stuff also?
I've seen some one-eye pictures and stuff like that. It's not quite that devilly, but
Yeah, but still, it's kind of weird that they all do the same. Greta Thunberg does that too. The one eye, she does the fucking thing.
yeah.
And not only I actually heard, you know Avicii.
Mm-mm.
You don't know
Oh,
Avicii?
oh, oh, the EDM guy.
Yeah, who died? He died like like 1 or 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
He's from Sweden. He's a Swedish guy,
Okay.
and he was huge. Like everyone knows who Avicii is, and he died from I think they said an overdose or something. But I heard rumors that apparently he was gonna expose the music industry and like he couldn't take it no more, and he was gonna expose some stuff,
Yep. And then all of a
and
sudden,
then he died by coincidence,
oh yeah.
and yeah. So and I'm not saying it's true or not. I don't know, but it's like weird that these things happen. It's kind of like that Michael Jackson thing, also.
What was going on with Michael Jackson other than
Well,
him
just
just dying?
for one, he might be a pedo himself,
Oh
right?
yeah.
But for seconds, how he died is weird
Yeah.
because he's been taking whatever medication it was that killed him for a very long time, and then I guess it's a doctor that gives it to him, and then all of a sudden he
Yeah.
gets a huge dose and dies. I don't know. There's probably a shit ton you can look at there, but
So the other
it's
one
just
I
weird.
just heard is and I'm drawing a blank on her name. Old comedian lady. Uh God.
Roseanne,
No, she's dead. Um
who might that be? I'm sure I know the name
she,
if I hear it.
yeah, you would. I can't think of her name. She Joan something. She had tons of
Joan Rivers.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
She had like 400 medical procedures, and then she started mouthing off about Hollywood and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden she went in for something small and died.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. She was very vocal and started saying some shit, and so the theory is
Oh.
that they had her killed because she was gonna start exposing stuff.
Imagine that. She goes in for like a bad pimple, and they're like, hey, Barry's gonna come in with a chainsaw. You just fall
Exactly.
asleep, relax.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, we're gonna give you this
Oh,
other shot. Don't worry about it.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so in Egyptian mythology, and again, I'm just on Reddit, so I don't really know. The eye of Ra is the right eye, or Ujat, it is equated to the sun, is an independent goddess who is a feminine aspect of Ra. The left eye is the eye of Horus, or Wijat, generally equated to the moon.
Mm.
Uh, they are used together in different amulets or singularly. There is a myth for Ra and his eye, and Horus losing his eye, that better puts into context the difference in symbolism and what they represent. They are not interchangeable except by lazy occultists. But they didn't really explain. A myth about the eye known from allusions is in the coffin texts from Middle Kingdom, and a more complete account in the Bremer Rind Papyrus from the late period demonstrates the eye's close connection with Ra and Atum and her ability to act dependently. The myth takes place before the creation of the world, when the solar creator, either Ra or Atum, is alone. Again, like I said, it's fucking a lot of...
Yeah.
So, who was it?
Is there no like just a simple like so like what I would want to know is the people using it. What are they? What do they mean when they do it? Because the interpretations can be 500 different interpretations, but
Right.
what is the actual thing that they're doing is
You know, that's the problem with all this shit, right? Like,
yeah,
how do we... You know, it's just a
it's hard to
psyop.
decipher.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they're like, oh, that's a psyop. They're like sending you off the trail. But it's like everything, unless you actually know, it can, you know, what
Yeah,
makes complete sense. And if you got some secret thing, they're not putting all that information out. So it's like you just get tons of
yeah,
mixed information.
yeah. Well, I guess you could just connect. Like if so, if I don't like satanic stuff anymore. Well, I never did, but like now I'm like, hey, that's kind of weird, even though I'm not
Right.
religious. But so if I connect, and I see a lot of people who doing satanic stuff and doing the hand over the eye,
Yeah.
and I can kind of connect. I can go, maybe he's evil. You know,
Well,
it's
that's
just
exactly. And that's even what they're saying in this thing I'm going through. And they're just like, somebody's like, there's nothing to it. Most of these celebrities are ignorant and wouldn't know the first thing about the occult. You know, and it's like, sure, some maybe, but like all these people doing the same thing.
hey, dude, yeah, that's such a dude. I'm not famous, but I've been in plenty of pictures in my life, and not one picture you can find of me holding my fucking hand over my eye. That's
Exactly.
not a normal thing to do when people take
Exactly.
your picture. Like there must be something to it. And then
Why?
okay, maybe some people caught on to the thing, and they're just fucking with, they're just fucking with people. Maybe.
Well, it's like, okay, say that it's a symbol for some occult or whatever, right? And
Yeah.
that's like you just doing it in pictures for magazines and stuff is basically like you walking around and throwing up gang signs because they seem cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
aren't you going to get yourself into some shit that you probably don't need to be involved in
Yeah.
if you're really
Yeah.
not doing it?
Oh, yeah, you mean so if they're just fucking around, then yeah, you might get involved in something you don't want to be involved in.
Yeah, you're like poking
Yeah.
at I mean, this podcast is probably not helping us either, but you know what I mean? It's like, it's like you're poking fun at these people on a huge level that you're in magazines and then, or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's like, I don't know. It seems like if they are what they say they are, I don't know that I want to be.
Yeah, I don't want to be connected to that in any
Yeah,
way.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's weird.
there's not really any there, you know, obviously, and this shit's Reddit, and you know that fucking the internet is, you know, uh,
Yeah.
whatever, modified,
Yeah.
augmented.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so hard these days. How do you know what's real and what's not? And more than that, even if you can decipher what's real and not, how do you find the real stuff? That's the problem. Yeah, it's crazy. But
Well,
so back to Elon then has because if his mother is doing all that, is Is there any pictures of him doing anything like that?
That's a good question. Other than the Baphomet thing, let's see.
Do actually look this up. Type in Elon Musk New World Order jacket, and you'll find what I was talking about before. It's pretty recent, I think. It's a white jacket that he's wearing.
Oh, and it's like real light on it.
Yeah,
Novus Ordum Seculum
yeah, and that
Seclorum. Wow.
then that literally means New World Order, no?
Yeah, that's what it says. What language is that? Latin or something?
Yeah, sounds like Latin.
You know, who even uses Latin?
These people, man, for dude, that's the thing with the. Here's a crazy one. If you type, um, you know how coronavirus, right?
Yeah.
If you type in, um, if you split the word, if you put core, space ona virus, I think, or something like that. In Latin, it literally means heart attack virus.
Come on.
I swear. Go to like Google Translate or something. It's I'll do it first just to corona virus Latin.
It's funny, does Google Translate even have Latin?
Yeah. If you go Latin to English and
Or English to
I put
Latin, you mean?
corona. Yeah. So it means heart wave virus.
COR
Yeah,
dash.
space
Oh.
ONA and then virus. It literally means heart wave virus.
So get this, mine didn't come up with, it didn't space it. Latin? No, to Spanish? What the fuck is going on here?
Latin to English.
No, that's the English.
Maybe there's a different translator you can use because they might have
Well, it just, um, I'm thinking I'm doing Latin to Spanish
ah.
is my issue.
So if you go to hold on, yeah,
English.
this should work. So corona virus.
Dude, oh.
If you just go because now it seems like they've changed it. So if you put coronavirus, it just says coronavirus in
Yeah.
English. But if you just put corona, it says heart wave because core means heart.
Translate from Portuguese. It keeps detecting what it's like, oh, here we go. Not that smart. Yeah, it just keeps saying the same thing.
What's up, Ryan? Ryan is on.
Nice. He's got good. What does he know about Elon Musk? You know he's got some info.
Come on, Ryan, spit it out. What side is he on, man? Is he trying to kill us all or save us all?
I bet Ryan thinks he's killing us.
Probably.
I can't get it to work. Although my even on this what the hell is it? Brave browser.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I go to search stuff, it then comes up and says, "Do you want to do this search in Bing or Google?" And I'm like, "No, I'm on a fucking search engine." I thought, why do I need to go to one of the other ones?
Hey, imagine you're at McDonald's, right? You're working there, and someone comes in, asks for a cheeseburger, and they're like, You want to go to Burger King
Yeah.
or some other place? No,
Yeah.
I'm fucking here.
Yeah, do you
I'm
want a
looking for a
Burger King
cheeseburger.
burger or do you want, and I'm like, no, this is why I came to McDonald's. I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If but yeah, I don't know. For anyone listening, if you go to the translate thing, put COR space ONA and don't put virus in because if you put virus in, it seems like it just says coronavirus, but
Uh-huh.
it literally means heart wave. And from what I heard is that a lot of these coincidences are has to do with the heart. So that's kind of weird.
So somebody, a comedian right around here, last night I ended up talking to him and he's like, so I almost died. And I'm like, what happened? And he's the kid's probably um he's probably 30 at the most. I don't
Whoa.
even think he's 30. And
Yeah.
he was doing like Uber Eats or something the other day and said he started
Mhm.
to feel weird, so he pulled over to the side of the road, fucking passed out. They said when the ambulance got there, he was dead.
What the
No
fuck?
heartbeat, no breathing or anything. They paddled him, got him to come out of it, put him into an induced coma for like a couple of days or something. And they had to they like cut him open here and he had like a big thing there. And I'm like, I didn't want to get too much, but I wanted to be like, is that a blood clot? What the fuck happened? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
when do, like I said, I'm not exactly sure, but I bet
He's young.
yeah, he's no older than 30, two at the very most, but I don't even think he's that old. I honestly think he's late 20s.
And how's his health? Like, is he
He
overweight or is
was,
he like normal? Like,
no, he's pretty much normal. He's maybe like, a, he's not fat really. He's like a little bit, he's
yeah.
not ripped, but like he's not like you wouldn't see him and be like, that person's gonna have a heart attack.
He's not fat as a heart attack. No.
No, he's just normal dude. You know what I mean?
That's fucking
Composition.
freaky.
Yeah.
And
And
this used to never happen. That's the thing.
never, dude.
Never. I never heard of anyone with no like previous conditions in good health or like decent health who just had a heart attack for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
Like, I guess these Uber Eats people are kind of stressing out a lot, driving from place to place, but like a heart attack or a
Yeah.
blood clot, like,
I don't even think it was a heart attack. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I'd have to ask and figure out exactly what went on,
did you
but
ask him if he took the medication?
I didn't. I didn't want to get right into it. I kind of did, but I was like,
Yeah, it's
I
none of
guess
your
I won't.
business really,
But
but
I'm assuming that he did, given the.
yeah,
I'm assuming that he did.
yeah.
Um, but I don't, you know, it, I, like I said, if he didn't, dude, then I'll be way more shocked.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously you're not gonna be if he's like, yeah, I took it,
I'll be
that's not a
like,
shocker at all. That's
right.
like, yeah, that's why I assumed. It's like, I don't know, unless he had some genetic stuff or family health issues
Right.
previous to that. But
Well, that's what he even, I don't think that he did because now he even said, he's like, man, now I'm worried that, like, because we were talking about losing track of time, like, because I don't remember, like,
mm,
a couple of days when I hit my head, but I'm like, at least I hit my head.
yeah, you
I'm
know
like,
why that
yeah,
happened. Like,
I know exactly why I don't remember a week. Yeah, you were just driving, and then all of a sudden you don't remember a week. So it's like,
yeah,
that's way scarier. I at least have a direct.
yeah, and also you get like a lesson from it. You're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't hit my head again.
Yeah,
I'll be careful. But this dude is just like, I did nothing. Should I never drive again? Maybe I should
exactly.
quit my job at Uber Eats.
That's the
Like,
one issue though, is that now, like, what, now, is he allowed to drive? Does he have restrictions? Like, because that's gnarly. And this is happening all the
yeah,
time. My other friend in um, Connecticut,
yeah.
he said some lady died at a stop sign. Luckily, her foot was on the brake outside of like he was at a work
What?
site. Yeah, she stopped at a stop sign and the car was just sitting there running. And he said he's in the machine like doing working and he sees people show up, then ambulance shows up, then cops show up, and they literally, she's dead, car running, foot on the brake. So they had to pull a cop car in and put it nose to nose so that way the car wouldn't
Uh,
take off if they opened the door.
yeah, yeah.
But like, again, when is this
Fuck.
ever like somebody? Okay, people passing out while driving happen every so often, and it's usually
Sure, it
old
happens. Like,
people.
yeah, yeah. But like, this is it's. If you look at athletes who are not only like, I understand that there's actual incidents where, like, for example, soccer players. It's just a super intense. You run for 90 minutes basically with sprints and everything. And it used to happen sometimes, but it's very rare that someone died on the field
Right.
because these people are at the prime of their health. They're super athletes, some of them. Like, but now athletes everywhere is just dropping dead.
Yeah. Well,
It,
that's what, like you're saying, the amount that they run. This isn't. I would get it if the person sat around and then they tried to play a soccer game. But these
yeah,
people are training for
yeah,
most likely their whole lives, so they're already
yeah,
acclimated to this.
yeah. Well,
So
I mean, I've heard that even before all this stuff, that even it's very rare, but it happens is something even with fit people on the football. Like, I'm sure if you look it up, like before this whole thing, it would happen occasionally. Even though, like, it's almost like they, I don't know the reason for it, but there's been people died on the football field before also, or on the soccer field, I should say, because you're American. But
thank you.
it wouldn't even be once a year. Like, it was super rare. But I know what happened. It happened in Sweden too. But then after the, whatever you want to call it, the jabs, tons of people dying.
Yeah. Well,
And it's
that's a.
not dying, like they're collapsing, getting strokes and whatever.
I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find stats on it prior to 2019, but I'm not.
Yeah, good luck finding that.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's probably no stats because it never happened before.
Yeah. No, I'm sure
Yeah.
it's like you said, 10 in 10 years or something like that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure the
Yeah.
numbers are like ridiculously small.
Yeah. Yeah. That what bothers me a lot is that people, even if you, no matter your stance on the jab and everything else around the pandemic, if you just look objectively at it, isn't it weird? And then, yeah, it's weird that people dying. And then what would you go like? What could possibly be the reason? There's only one thing that happened in the last, 3 years that happened to almost everybody. Everyone used, I don't want to call it medication, but everyone took something, and then all of a sudden, like heart attacks and sudden deaths are like skyrocketing.
Yeah, but that's a white supremacist thing to say, Rasmus.
I guess so.
This is
I
what
guess.
it's. My issue is that they like exactly what you're saying is totally right. We should at least be like, okay, what's the common denominator here? What has changed?
Exactly.
But they've made it so that you're whatever, racist, a bigot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For even questioning it, which is like, how do you get so many people to comply that hard? Where they're just like, just even asking the question makes you an asshole.
Yeah. But it has a lot to do with authority bias.
For
Because
sure.
if I tell someone this, they go, "Oh, you're a fucking podcaster or painter.
But
You're not
why
a
has
doctor."
I know that, but how have we gotten to this point is my issue. Like you're saying, there's enough evidence, right? For you would think for everybody to at least be suspicious, no?
Oh, for sure.
But
Like
there
at
are,
least. But even
yeah,
if you take it a step back, even if there's no evidence, there's at least uh too many instances of this happening for you not to ask questions. At least that. Even if there's no evidence, maybe it's fucking I'm wrong and we're wrong and everything's, but at least you should ask some questions.
yeah. That's the biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
Why can't you ask questions? Why can't you ask the question?
Yeah.
If there's no harm, no foul, nothing going on,
Yeah.
you should be
Dude, they
able.
ask if something happens, like if I go to the hospital. I think I told you I went to the emergency room, was it last weekend? Uh they ask me stuff like, did you eat something that you might be allergic to?
Right.
You know? Did you do something crazy today? Did you do something out of the ordinary? But they will never ask, like, did you take the jab? Maybe that could be,
Isn't that like this is my point? I'm
it's
just
so weird, man. They'll ask me if I had carrots because I'm allergic, but
right.
if I had a medical intervention that is like so so far underneath the gold standard of science, but they won't ask me about that. Did you take this experimental concoction?
I know.
It is. You know what? I've told people before. Isn't it weird that I never consider myself knowledgeable in science or in medicine or anything like that at all. I'm a fucking house painter, dude. And in the last few years, I can win arguments talking to doctors.
Yeah.
That alone should make people be like, wait, this dumb guy can outsmart a doctor and the doctor can't answer his questions. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah. You know, because the the whole thing is funny because everything, like when the pandemic was going on and there was all these nurses on my timeline going off about how crazy it was and all this shit, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and they're like, the doctor here, whatever, and I go, is the doctor there doing research?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't have time to. Exactly. So he is just getting information from above.
Yeah.
So if every single doctor in the whole country gets the same false information and they're running on this premise,
Mhm. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen because they go. It's the same thing there. They have authority bias for the people above them.
yeah,
They go prescribe this medication to
exactly.
everybody. All right, yeah, all right, that's what we're doing.
And none of them, those people, it's funny because it's like those doctors, like I said, are not going out doing their own trials.
Yeah,
They're not doing experiments. They're just running with the protocol given to them.
mhm.
So it's very easy to rig the system. That's
Yeah, super easy.
and we know that the education system rewards retaining information and then
Yeah,
like just treating that information as though it's gospel and
yeah,
this is the way it is and that's it. And
mhm.
doctors, I feel a lot of times feel so superior to everybody. Like
Yeah,
I have a degree, so you can't tell them anything. They don't even want
yeah,
to listen to you about your own body. You go and you're
yeah,
like, oh, it's not, it's more this, and they're like, wow,
yeah. But
So
it's not even to shit on doctors. I mean, I've met a lot of good doctors. I've met some shitty ones also,
yeah, of course,
and I understand that they don't have time to do the research. But that doesn't mean that they're right.
right,
That's the thing. It's just it doesn't mean you're right.
My point is that the system is very easily rigged in either in one direction or another
Yeah.
because everybody's getting their information from the same entity.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
still a handful of people that are disseminating this information through all of the doctors in the country
Hmm.
and who
Yeah.
don't have the time to go and research stuff. And unless you, as soon as they start to say anything contrary to what the mainstream thing is, they get vilified and then they threaten them with their license so that they
Yeah.
comply. So
Hmm.
the everybody's like, how did this happen? But it's very easily rigged system because, like you said,
Oh yeah.
people don't have the time to do all this shit on their own.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I lost my train of thought. But it's like, yeah, like you say, it's very, very easy for them to do it.
Yeah, and now with social media platforms hopping on and then
Yeah.
joining the fray of limiting speech
Yeah.
that doesn't serve the purpose. Now you've got an entire uh, system that's totally manipulated by the people doing butthole eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in this scenario, right? Me and you doing this show, we might save some people, man. The 16 people watching this show,
Yeah, yeah.
you're gonna get some great information.
That's the thing. That's why I do this stuff, and I even talk out about like I made a post on Facebook. Somebody had a picture of Lizzo, and it was like somebody made a
Oh,
quote like, I have all these incels in my inbox saying she's not healthy. You try to dance around and play a wind instrument and this and that, and show her up. And I said, I reposted it and I said, I'm going to show her up just by making it to being a senior citizen. Like, whoever is telling you that being that fat, I use the word obese, which is where the debate came in, but it's like she's not gonna outlive me, people. Like, let's be fucking
there is no
serious.
way.
And
Yeah.
I even said to the people that were arguing with me, I'm like, find me a somebody that big that made it to 80.
Yeah.
Find me a
Yeah.
celebrity that's 80 years old that was fat like that.
Yeah. Anne was dancing. I think her dancing with that weight on is probably not a good thing,
That's
but it could be.
I
It's
bet that's the
exercise, I
only
guess.
thing keeping her probably, you know what I mean, from being
Maybe. Yeah.
even
The
bigger
other
and
thing
worse
with
off.
that though is the other thing with that is that uh there's from my perspective, from what I see, a lot of people that are for this fat acceptance and what do they call it? It's called something.
Body positivity movement.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Most people who are for that are women, and I
Yeah.
can say that with a lot of
Yep.
confidence. And so if we flip it then, because most women want men and women to be equal also. So, but then is it also okay if all the new standard for men is obesity?
Yeah, but they're trying to
Because
push the dad bod as well.
stupid. No girls like that. People don't
Listen,
like that. That's fucking stupid. It
when
doesn't
it's
work the other way.
when it first came out, I said it. They go, "Oh, women prefer dad bods," and I said, "Would you ask fat women? You asked a bunch of fat women that don't want to
Yeah.
feel bad about themselves, be that they're out of shape and their boyfriend is fucking ripped. They
Yeah, but
don't.
also it's like you sometimes I heard someone say this. Sometimes the preference of a person depends on what you can actually get.
Yeah,
So then, like for example, older women might say, "I'm into young guys," because like a young guy who is, let's say, not he doesn't have a very high status. He's not rich. He's way more likely to hook up with you than a guy your age who's like rich
right.
and has like because he had time to make money and to make his life good and all this stuff. And like if the only people you can pull are fat people, you're gonna be like, No, but a lot of people like, dad
Yeah.
bods and all the other stuff.
I think
Give me
it's
a break.
yeah. Well, and like you're saying, the rich old guy can get himself a hot young chick. So what the fuck's
See,
he worried
he
about
doesn't
the
want
old
you.
bird for?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah. And I
totally
mean,
agree.
come on. If you ask every girl on the planet, would you rather have someone with a dad bod or would you rather fuck Chris Hemsworth? Come on.
Yeah,
Come
but
on.
I think I honestly think most of them just don't want to feel bad about themselves. So they're or that and two, if they feel like the guy is way out of their league, are they not going to be insecure about him cheating all the time or something? You know, so I
Yeah,
feel like
probably.
it's a
Yeah, probably.
mismatch, and that's why they're like, no, I like dad bods because I won't feel bad about him working out all the time and me just being a lazy piece of shit, and I won't have to worry about him banging people because he's hot. You know,
Yeah,
it's
but also these people don't get that chance. Like they will never be with Chris Hemsworth or anyone who looks like him.
yeah, but so they
So
do it
that
in
like
their
that
heads.
scenario, yeah, I guess,
Like
yeah,
they know they will never get there either. So like then they go, well, I don't like that. I like dad bods. You know,
yeah,
like
yeah,
they're just confirming it to themselves, you know,
yeah,
because it's like we might as well if I can't have that, I might as well pretend to hate it.
yeah. It's the same for dudes too.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm into to bigger women. Yeah, because that's all you can get.
yeah,
Like I'm sure there's people who actually are into it for some reason, like
for sure.
and I'm not saying it's crazy that you have to kind of defend yourself saying this. I'm not saying that fat people are bad or they're ugly or anything like that. Like it's just unhealthy, and also there's like there's some sort of a standard for what people in general uh perceive as beautiful,
Yeah,
and it's not Lizzo. It's just not
because we are attracted to health.
healthy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you know that's the whole thing of life and how your body works is you're being attracted to people that are healthy, that are going to be able to give you offspring, you know,
Yeah.
that are not going to make your life worse because they have a
Yeah.
terrible outlook, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like those things go hand in hand. Being out of shape and being miserable a lot of times are very closely related. And
Yeah.
we've just got to a point where we're trying to be polite about everything, and that's just
Yeah.
not. So when I was having this debate, I said uh, that nobody that obese or nobody obese is going to. It was basically like they're not going to outlive me, and somebody started arguing with me that, oh, there's so the way that it says is that there are 60 like basically 70% of obese people will get some kind of detrimental, you know, diabetes, insulin
Mm,
resistance, whatever.
mm.
But there's 25 to 30% of people that won't. Well, after having this long conversation and looking at it, it's all done off of BMI, body mass index, which
Yeah, which is stupid.
yeah, exactly. I'm like 10% body fat right now and I weigh like 173 or 4. I'm overweight
Yeah.
according to BMI.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's
it's
not a
like,
good way of measuring individuals.
dude, how fucking stupid is that? So in this conversation, some girl goes, "As a fat athlete, I can tell you that size has nothing to do with a couple of things, flexibility, this and that, and endurance." And then she goes,
What?
and I said, I was like, "Name me one fat endurance athlete that's competitive." And her response, literally, was Venus and Serena Williams. And
What?
I'm like,
Pat?
they're jacked. They're not fat. What the fuck are you talking about?
Dude,
Like,
Serena's shredded.
dude, how can you? This is my. Let's say on the BMI chart they're the same, right?
Yeah.
let's say just off of weight and size,
Yeah.
they're not even remotely the same body composition at
No.
all. If medical
No.
science is taking them and lumping them together, we have a serious fucking issue.
Yeah.
So I'm
Well, I mean,
like, the obese people that are going to outlive me, she goes, so theoretically 20 to 30% of obese people are going to outlive you. And I said, yeah, those people are obese with muscle, not fat. Like the
yeah,
fact that
they're
that's,
jacked.
yeah, those people are jacked and they got tons of muscle mass, and that's going to make them live longer. But to just go obese people and not address body
Yeah.
composition at all is the most insane shit I've ever heard.
Yeah. Well, I
And
mean, BMI works for looking at like a whole nation's uh um weight ratios, right? Because most people who are obese are not super jacked.
right, exactly.
So it works if you use 20 million people, sure, it's like a good indication of where, but to say that Serena Williams is the same as you,
Or
uh
Lizzo, dude. Imagine pictures of them side by side and being like,
well, that would mean that if you look at someone like I don't know, Brock Lesnar,
right.
he would be the same as a
Yes.
dude who's in a wheelchair and can't walk because he's fat.
Yeah.
Because he's like 280 pounds of
Yes.
fucking muscle, man. He's a monster.
Exactly. So
It's
that's
like
it.
they're not even the same species if you
No.
look at them. Like, it is, that is ridiculous, man.
That's
On the
why.
topic,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I just saw a really funny video. There was one of these triggered people who was, by chance, huge.
Uh-huh.
And she was complete. You know how people complain about there was a this was on a couple of years ago. People were talking about airplane seats
Uh-huh. Yeah.
that like if we can't fit in the airplane seat, so we shouldn't have to pay for two seats. It's like, but
Yeah.
they're losing. They're gonna sell two tickets to two normal people. Why would they give you one for free? Like that's retarded. That's not how business works.
No.
But this one, she was so big that she was complaining about the aisles
We're not wide
in the
enough.
airplane. She couldn't walk in straight. I saw the video, and she made the video. This was so hilarious. She walks in and she can't. She has to go sideways, and even sideways, it's fucking tight.
Dude.
And I'm like, and she was basically saying that they should make the aisles wider. But if you just like basic logic is like, but then they lose probably 60 or 70 seats on the fucking airplane,
And then what
and you're gonna
happens?
have to pay twice as much as you're paying today.
Exactly. So you might as well just buy your second fucking seat. All right?
Yeah.
Cuz
Or don't fly. Don't fly. Like
but
it's just that
so
simple.
the real issue is that we're being too nice and not being like, listen, so the world was not built for somebody your size. People were not this size when everything was designed.
Yeah.
You know,
Because
like,
people, healthy people doesn't look like that.
this is the real issue. And this is the reason I even reposted that thing and said that, because
Well,
I'm tired of us pretending that this shit is fine, and it's not fine, and it's really a detriment to all those people. Because
yeah.
this stuff is preventable, especially diet and exercise, and
Oh
being overweight
Jesus.
is preventable. So by just coddling them and not telling them the harsh truth,
Yeah.
you're making it worse for everybody. The other thing is that if 70% of overweight people, which most people are overweight in the United States,
Yeah.
I would say at least half are
I think it's more. Yeah.
I think it is more. I think it might be 60% or something,
Yeah.
or maybe more than that. But so now let's take 60% of America, and then let's take 70% of them are going to have some kind of severe issue and die early. Now, how, by being polite to everybody, how much more are we spending on medical bills every year?
It's nuts. It's nuts. And it's not only that. Like I don't really feel bad about saying, like, for example, the word fat.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that's an issue because fat is just a shape, right? To me, it's like when I see you and I don't walk around and call people fat. It's not that. But when we're talking about it, if I say you're fat, like these days you can't obviously say that, and I understand that it can be mean to use that word or even other words for the same thing.
Right.
But I had a guy on my show actually who's like a CrossFit fucking he's a savage and he's jacked.
Huh.
And we talked about it and he was like, "Look, you are fat, you're unhealthy, you're lazy, and you just don't have the discipline to deal with the problem. Now, that being said, what can I do to fucking help you?"
Yeah.
See, we want to help. I want to help. I would love to help. Like I have friends that are fat. They won't take my help. I'm offering it for fucking free. I used to
Yeah.
work in a gym. I did 2 years in university studying sports and exercise. I've been studying diets and exercising nearly my whole life, and I've done sports. I'm offering this to you for fucking free. I even told my friend because I was working in the gym. I was like, "Look, dude, if you think that if you don't want to train in front of people and stuff, we can go when the gym's closed. I have a key. I'll take you there nighttime."
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Nah, nah."
See, but most people, and here's another thing on this vein. Most people go to the doctor and then the doctors be like, "Oh, it's genetic."
Fuck
And
off.
then and then
Fuck
they
right off.
and then they believe that it's helpless. So
But that's
now
the easiest argument to debunk
I
because
know
where are all your fat ancestors?
exactly.
Show me
Listen,
your fat grandfather and your
yeah,
fat great grandfather. If it's genetic, show me all the fat people. Look at photos from the like 40s on the beaches and
yeah,
the cities. Nobody was fat.
yeah, exactly. If you can show me a picture of your fat relative in the 60s or 50s, I will listen. You're got fat genes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just stay the same.
Here's the thing, we all have fat genes because our bodies are all made to store fat in case we need it for
Hmm.
later. Period. We
Hmm.
are fat
Yeah,
storing machines given the correct environment. And we've happened to make the perfect environment for our bodies to store fat.
yeah. It's this amps me up so much because
Dude,
I'm getting so
me,
sick
uh,
of pandering to people who are just not. And I mean, I live in probably one of the healthiest countries on the planet. If you look at least the Western countries,
yeah,
Swedes are pretty active. Like I have a friend who moved here from Ireland, and he was like, "I'm so impressed. Like all the Swedes in the summertime, they're out running. Even in the wintertime, they're out running in the snow. They're
yeah.
hiking. They're moving. Like we're pretty health conscious here. But even here, it's getting to like it's the same thing. You can't say shit about it.
Yeah,
But I'm saying it because you're probably gonna die way earlier than you had to.
that's exactly
Trying to
why.
fucking help.
Yeah, that's exactly why I made the post, is because, listen, I get it,
Yeah.
it seems harsh, but somebody needs to say this shit. Like, we're pretending to the detriment of a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
And it's
And
not as hopeless as they think. Everybody's told it's genetic, blah, blah, blah. And then the diets that they're told to do, vegan, be a vegan or a vegetarian. And then they are lacking vitamins and minerals
Mhm.
and eating carbs just all fucking day and then
Yeah.
can't figure out why they're getting fatter. And it's like, it's
Yeah.
not their fault that the food is garbage and the information is useless.
Yeah. Yeah. But and also it's literally not because I can see if someone who is very overweight looks at the road ahead of them. So from here, from where I am now, I'm very fat to where I would be healthy. It looks like a fucking mountain, right?
Yeah,
That is working out every fucking day, running. I have to do this and I have to
yeah.
do that. No, you fucking don't. You know how easy it is to lose weight? You just don't eat every time you're fucking hungry.
But that's
You don't
also,
have to eat because you're hungry.
yeah. But
And
that's
most of you are
even,
not hungry. Most of you are just fucking bored.
or thirsty.
That too. And
A lot of
did you
times you're
see,
thirsty.
dude, did you see the thing I shared on my story on Instagram the other day? It's like
Uh-uh.
the Coca-Cola thing. I actually didn't know this, but the recipe for Coca-Cola apparently, So the reason why they dump a bunch of sugar in it is because they previously dumped a bunch of salt in it. So the sugar is there to hide the salt.
Uh,
Because drinking Coke actually makes you thirstier.
yeah,
Yeah. So they give you a drink that makes you want to buy another drink. How smart is that?
yeah.
Yeah. And to
That's
me, I'm like, just drink fucking water and don't eat every time you're hungry.
yeah.
Like most of the times, if you're overweight, you're not even. I don't think most of them have been hungry for years. It's just
Right.
boredom.
Well, you know what though? I would even say that I don't necessarily agree with that because I feel like they're probably eating the wrong things. So although they keep eating, they're always hungry because their body never gets satiated because they're just
Yeah,
eating
yeah,
fucking
that
empty
too.
bullshit. So then you're just like ravenous hungry all the time because your body's like it's like, yeah, we've eaten stuff, but we haven't gotten the things that we actually need to shut
Yeah,
this switch off and be like, hey, we're good right now.
yeah, yeah. If you just start eating more protein, like base your diet around protein,
Yeah.
you'll be way more satiated. But also, it's like the reason I say that is because I feel like today it's like feelings. We're supposed to always, you know, do what we feel.
Yeah.
How about fucking not?
I know.
How about don't do heroin even though you feel like it? And then maybe that's a bad example, but like, but,
Seems like a
but
pretty good
like,
example.
you know, my point is like, hey, I feel like a Snickers bar. Maybe don't. Have you ever thought of that? Just fucking don't.
You know, some of it's even rewiring. You know, like if you feel like a Snickers bar, go get yourself some strawberries.
That too. Yeah,
Or
eat some watermelon. It's there's fucking no calories in that.
exactly. And
Yeah.
it's a more of a replacing, you know, like flood in the good stuff. So then you're
Yeah.
having real food that is more satiating. And then the other stuff will kind of go to the wayside. But right
Yeah.
now, you know, it's like how about the Snickers commercials? You know, like you're not you when you're hungry. And it's
Hi.
like what should you have? Uh
Snickers bar.
8,000 or whatever, 1,000 calories and you know like 500 grams of carbs. Like
Yeah. It's
okay.
ridiculous. But like the point is also like I get what you're saying with like sometimes you have to swap it for what but like the feeling of hunger. Like the feeling of hunger is one of those if you've ever fasted for like 10 hours even, the feeling of hunger is not a feeling that lasts very long.
Yeah.
So if you could just take it for like an hour, do something else, focus on something else, it will go away.
It's
It's not
true.
like you're gonna be hungry. Like it goes away. And also, like I know the world record for fasting. A dude did he didn't eat for over a year.
What?
He was super fat because your body
Uh
literally can eat the fat.
yeah.
And he was, but he had I think you have to do like intravenous vitamins and stuff like that.
Mm.
So you have to supplement it a bit. But literally, if you are super overweight, you can go without food for months if you
Well,
just supplement. It's possible. I'm not saying it's pleasant or
well,
that you
so
should do
no,
it,
it's not
but
pleasant, but actually I've heard that to lose weight, a lot of weight and not have wrinkly like the extra skin, that
yeah.
that's the way to do it. Is like hardcore
Well,
fasting.
yeah, but that makes a lot of sense because the body eats everything, but it doesn't happen over a few weeks. It
No.
happens over a very long time, so the skin will adapt while you
Right.
shrink. That's why the biggest loser, if you look at Biggest Loser, they lose like 100 pounds, 150 pounds within like 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Your skin is going to hang down to your toes.
Yeah.
Of course. It's too fast. It's not sustainable. It's not
Right.
normal. I'm not saying that not eating is sustainable either, but like the point is just like to say that you have to eat just because you're hungry is bullshit.
Yeah.
No, you don't. It's just a
Sometimes
feeling. It's just the psychological warfare with yourself.
yeah.
Like,
Cuz that's what the warning light is. It's like, "Hey, we need to get some food." But you know, it's just like exercising when your mind initially goes, we should quit, like,
Yeah,
and then you can
yeah, yeah.
push, and then you're like, oh, we got through the barrier. Sometimes I like to get up and I'll be hungry or something, and then I'll start working out, and then the hunger
Mm,
goes away.
yeah,
And I almost
yeah,
think that's like if you were on a hunt, if you were hungry and then you were still hunting, your body would have to, you would have to switch off and be like, okay, we got to focus
yeah,
on the task at hand right now, which is
yeah.
getting food. We can't be hungry about it.
Yeah, and also like if you're fasting, one of the like I don't do a lot of fasting now. I used to do some time restricted eating, but it my focus levels when I was fasted were
Yeah.
great, way better than when I was eating, especially if you're eating carbs. I get the same thing when I do. I've done keto and if I'm like a little bit more fat adapted, my focus is way better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 because
it's
sugar hot
funny.
wires a bunch of stuff, you know.
Say what?
It like hot wires a bunch of stuff, like your
Yeah,
brain, like it's sending off all kinds of shit in your
yeah,
brain, and then it's making your body have to fight it with insulin, and like there's so much stuff going on in your body to just process and combat the, sugar that
yeah,
it's like,
yeah. But we've been tricked into it too. Like when I grew up, I remember like standard for every person should be at least 3 meals a day. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Like all this shit is just like, but why? Show me the science on why it is better to eat 3 times than 4 times or one
right.
time or 8 times. Why?
Yeah,
It's
we
just
just
because we get hungry. If we eat breakfast, we get hungry faster
I
for
don't
lunch.
I
And
almost feel like it's more so um just society. They're like decided these
yeah,
meals of when we sit down and have meals with people or whatever versus how it's probably best for people to eat.
yeah. I mean, it's a social thing. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then it
But
became society where it's like you eat these times of day, and then we have breaks or whatever.
yeah, yeah. I like have you ever followed what's his name again? I like him a lot. He's a personal trainer, but he's kind of big time now. James Smith.
No.
They call him the calorie deficit guy
Uh-huh.
because he's hilarious. He's got a big following on Instagram and stuff. He's really funny on these things. He's like, if you look at all diets, like people say that 5-2 diet for losing weight, they say keto for losing weight, vegan for losing weight, everything for losing weight, and fasting for losing weight. And he's just like, or like skipping, like you fast until lunchtime. He's like, yeah, you're probably going to lose weight because you're cutting like a third of your daily calories.
Right.
That's the only reason you're losing weight. Doesn't matter what time you eat it.
Yep.
Same if you do the five. My dad did the 5-2 diet. It was like 2 days a week. You get to only eat like 500 calories,
Mm.
and he lost a bunch of weight. And I tried to explain to him like, yeah, it could have been 4-3 or 6-1.
Right.
It's just a matter of your calories.
Yeah, you're just
You,
manipulating calorie intake.
yeah, basically. Same with like keto or anything. If you cut all your carbs, which is for most people like 70% of your daily intake, and you don't replace all of it, yeah, you're gonna be eating less. It's just
But we are eating like just whole foods and lots of meat, and
yeah,
we're both leaning out just from keeping carbs limited and but
yeah,
eating as much. Basically, I mean, obviously you don't want to go too crazy on fat. Because I did have an app, we had an app called Carb Manager, which it's for like keto, which I don't actually go
mm,
full keto. I just kind
mm,
of limit carbs. But it's like way harder to get fat on fat than it is get fat on
oh
carbs.
hell yeah,
So
hell
if
yeah,
you're eating lots of meat and fat, you're going to be satiated for way longer,
yeah,
throughout the day, which ultimately is going to help you not eat excess calories as well and carbs.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's yeah. I think the carbs is the worst
Yeah.
thing in our society, and unfortunately, like I was walking through the store this morning, and everything I see is just carbs everywhere.
Dude, the store is like the supermarket.
Yeah,
There's like one or two aisles that have shit in it that's not totally toxic for you.
yeah.
The
I was actually the other week having an idea of a business idea to make like protein bars and stuff like this, but like made from actual like made with fat and protein
mm-hmm.
from animals, like just just really good quality stuff and no sugar or nothing in it because it's lacking. But also, I don't
Yeah.
know if there's a demand for it because most people obviously don't care so much.
They don't realize, like look at the fucking food pyramid. Bread's at the
Yeah, yeah,
bottom, you know what I mean? Like they
yeah.
and listen, before I really started getting into diet and really looking into it, like
Mm,
I would go to, I was traveling all the time and I'd go to these gas stations and I'm like, what should I get? And I'm like, oh, there's baked goods everywhere. They can't be that bad for you. Wrong.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like just because society puts it out there
yeah.
in these, nice shiny packages doesn't mean that it's not bad for you. And that's a difficult realize. Listen, we are considered conspiracy theorists for thinking this stuff. So most of the
Yeah.
people just go along with whatever the narrative is. And I
Yeah.
have arguments with people about food all the time about what's in stuff and you know what I mean? What's
Uh,
actually good? Like, as soon as I tell people I eat as much steak as I do, they're like, oh, your cholesterol. And I'm like, that's bullshit. I've done my cholesterol. I've eaten steak every day for probably 3, 4 years. And I'm like, my cholesterol is totally fine.
Dude, cholesterol is actually good. Like
Yeah.
it has a function in your fucking body. It's not like yeah, it drives me
And
crazy
the bigger
to
you
think that
are, the more cholesterol you have. And our issue is that they've lumped in omega 6 fatty acids with
yeah,
uh, what is it? LDL is bad. So they've mixed
yeah,
in omega 6s with LDL from animal food and they haven't differentiated it. And
yeah,
so that's why LDL is this marker of whatever. But then they tell you to reduce red meat because your LDL is high. And that's not even the issue. The issue is the omega 6 seed oils that are doing it anyway. So it's like,
exactly. Yeah, you can't win. It's because the machine is so big, and like we said on the COVID stuff, it's so easy for them to market those things. But in today's age, I would say if you are unhealthy and if you are unaware and you just don't know anything about health, that is 100% on you because today you can find out what is real. You can try stuff
yeah,
and actually, be like, oh, I feel better this way.
right.
Like it's like I don't really believe in a vegan diet. That idea to me is kind of I don't think that's very healthy. But I've never tried vegan diet. I eat meat with all my meals, even I ate 500 grams of ground beef this morning with salt and pepper. That's my breakfast.
Yep.
A
That's the
half a
way to go.
kilo,
Uh,
and that's what I like. But like, I feel great doing that.
But most people would. And the issue is, and I was thinking about this yesterday, I'm like, you can't save the planet and yourself at the same time as far as food goes. And a lot of these diets are pushed on that premise that you are going
Yeah.
to save the creatures and the
Uh,
planet and whatever. And it's like that diet is not good for you. And it might make you feel good mentally that you're saving, cow or whatever,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like you're not. It's
No, it's yeah, it's again, is the like putting blame on the people for
yeah,
everything and making them do things that are not good for them. But supposedly good for the planet.
Right, exactly. And
Yeah.
it's not pitched as though vegan diet is terrible for you, but you're gonna save the planet. They're like, save the planet and yourself. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
ugh.
Yeah, it is crazy. Anyways, do you think Elon Musk is a vegan?
The way he's shaped, he might be.
He might be, right?
That's the thing, even with like Bill Gates, right?
Yeah.
Like you look at him and you go, he's a smart guy, yet he's shaped like he eats soy all the time. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I almost think that he really believes the bullshit that he's saying and the
maybe.
bullshit that he's making. Like he must really believe in Beyond Burgers because that's obviously what he's eating. And
Yeah, it looks like it.
yeah. So like
Yeah,
I'm like, is he it's hard to like smarts and common sense are not, you know,
yeah,
necessarily the same. So it's like, is Bill Gates like the biggest, most successful NPC like ever? You know what I
probably.
mean? He's like a non-playable character that's just like going along whatever, and he keeps learning all these science, and he's like, yeah, that's good, and doesn't even realize that his own health is
Yeah.
deteriorating or
Well,
that he's overweight.
that's because he's a reptilian, and he is gonna live forever because he's drinking baby blood and
Maybe. I don't know. They need
no,
to
I don't
figure
know. But
something else out
for
though.
people though, if we go back to common sense, why would you take health advice from people who are not healthy? The same, like I wouldn't take business advice from someone who's living on the street.
Exactly.
What the
But
fuck?
but again, they are pushing the premise that you can be fat and healthy.
Yeah,
And
but
it's
it's like,
just over the you can be obese and healthy, but they don't clarify that it's obese. You're too muscular, not too
yeah,
fat.
yeah. Have you seen the documentary? Shit, what is it again? There was an MMA fighter who made a vegan documentary. James Vick.
No.
Um, it's on Netflix. What is it called again?
Was he fighting as a vegan?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. But either way, in the documentary, there's so many holes in that documentary. And he's a smart dude. I'm not saying like he's an asshole or anything like that. But like, and there is a few things. Like, for example, they made the point in the documentary that if you look at gladiators from back in ancient Rome,
Mm-hmm.
and you look at their skeletons and stuff, apparently they ate mostly greens,
Yeah,
mostly
because they
vegetables, right?
were slaves, were they
It,
not?
they were slaves, dude. You don't feed steak. You don't give
Yeah.
steak to slaves. That's just. But also, what they did is like they put Conor McGregor when he was fighting Nate Diaz, and Nate Diaz, who is not even a vegan, he's like a pescatarian. He eats eggs and fish and stuff. I believe I'm not 100, but he beat Conor McGregor, and they show Conor McGregor like the fight week he was eating a steak at a restaurant,
Oh,
and it's like, yeah, sure. There are some athletes who are, and there's some strongman too who's like a vegan. It's like, yeah, if you pick out of all the super
yeah.
athletes, you can find some, but the vast majority of the super athletes are not vegan. The
Well,
vast majority of them are eating steak and fucking meat all the
yeah.
time.
So here's one. Do you know that Argentina, the Argentinian soccer team, took like 1,000 pounds of meat to China or Korea or wherever the Olympics were?
Oh, yeah, because Argentina is known for steaks and
Yeah,
stuff like
so
that.
they brought
Yeah.
like literally a ton of meat with them so that
Whoa.
they could have good meat. Um,
Oh, that's interesting.
what the hell was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh, so there's a racer, Ken
Uh-huh.
Roxon. He's from Germany. He lives in the U.S. now. He's been here for a long time, but in 2016, I want to say, he crashed real bad, broke his arm, bunch of places, bunch of surgeries, was having
Uh-huh.
health issues, got hurt again like another year and a half after that, and then has been struggling with his health as far as like being able to last a whole race or even the whole season. By
Oh,
the end of the season, he just wasn't the same person. So in December, we follow him on Instagram, and he's constantly posting stories of his food, which was just fruit and meat.
Oh
So I
yeah.
made a joke video that he's going eating. He's going primal or something, and he's eating like the Liver King, doing steroids. And I'm like, no, just
Yeah.
joking. You know, he's eating meat and fruit and vegetables. So he finally was on a podcast, and he said, "They go, what happened with your health? How'd you turn it around?" And he goes, "I've started eating meat and organs." And he goes, "And if I
Yeah.
can't get liver or whatever," he goes, "I'll take." Desiccated organ, pills, which is basically
Mm.
like what I do. I take either herbs or just, desiccated organ, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And that's turned in, he's miles better than he was last year. And
Yeah.
that's literally, he said it's a lot of things like feeling better, being happy, and all that. Yes, I agree with that. But also eating better makes you happy and feel better as well. So
Of
it's
course.
funny that all of this stuff just goes back to him eating real food and meat and organs, which is, you know,
Yeah.
so
I'm
simple that
not
it can't
shocked.
work.
Yeah. I'm not shocked at all. Hey, on that point, man, I actually meant to send you something else before the show, and it's hilarious that you brought up the Argentinian soccer team
Hmm.
because it was this morning, I believe. Uh, I saw. I should have fucking seen. Yeah, there we go. So um, they put out and I didn't read the whole article, but the article was, uh, let's see if I get it here. Yeah. So the article, the what do you call the heading of the article is,
Hmm.
why doesn't Argentina have more black players in the World Cup? And then there's a guy who's from Twitter. He's La Libertad Avanza. He commented on it. He says, because we are a country, not a Disney movie.
Yeah, like what is
I mean, they're
stupid?
a country. They barely have black people in Argentina. They're
Exactly.
South American. What the fuck?
We need to get
Would
them
you
in
say
there.
the same? Then can I go and say, why is there not more white people in the Kenyan football team?
Yeah. How come
Or
there are
like
no
China?
white
Like,
Kenyan runners?
yeah, where's there no black people in China's national team? Why can I ask that too? Is that racist if they don't? Like obviously I don't know what the article's saying, but it was just hilarious. His comment on it is just,
Yeah.
we're not a Disney movie, it's a fucking country.
What a stupid article to write. That fucking
Yep.
person should not have a job at the
No, no.
Washington Post or whatever anymore. They're like,
They
we're
should not have a job,
yeah,
period. At
not
least not
writing
writing
anything.
stuff.
Exactly.
You could work at McDonald's.
Yeah, you could do something
Yeah.
else. I'm sure you could be a proofreader or something. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. It's
All
crazy.
right,
I
we veered way off topic again. But
way off again.
people, do you think Elon is here to save us, or do you think that he is part of the beast? Yeah, it's weird, and I don't know, I guess that's the psyop question, but it's like he speaks out against AI, he speaks out against
Yeah.
this and that, and then he does other things, and you're like, I don't know.
He even he even made fun of Bill Gates. You remember
Yeah.
that?
Oh, they're
When
having
the
some kind of billionaire battle, dude.
Yeah, but I think I don't know if he started it, but when they made the pregnant man emoji,
Yeah.
he posted that and said, "Doesn't this look like Bill Gates?" or something along those lines. It was
Yeah.
hilarious.
But they've gone back and forth on a couple of things. There's a whole rivalry between the two of them. They've been like sending each other shit and talking shit or something.
It's funny. Yeah, but I really wonder, is he pulling us down to hell or is he getting us on a spaceship to Mars to save us?
That's
Not
my
that I
thing.
think we need to go to Mars.
I don't see anybody being, like we said earlier, I don't see anybody being like either all good trying to save everybody or
Yeah.
just all other than George Soros. All bad trying to kill kill everybody. You know what I mean? I think it's just human nature, and people believe this and see it one way, and they believe that and see that another way, and that's just kind of
Yeah.
how it goes.
I do think that some people are just evil
I
though.
was just gonna say maybe I'm being naive because I'm not
Yeah.
actually evil. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're evil, but it might be based on their beliefs, which is just a belief. It's
and
not.
they don't think that's evil. That's my
Yeah,
point.
exactly. Maybe they don't think it's evil.
Exactly. They're just like, this is how it is, and this is what we should do, and don't necessarily see it as like, I'm gonna do this to fuck everybody over. Which is what we think
Yeah.
when we're like,
So so Ryan posted a comment. He says, "I think he's trying to give the impression he's here to save us, but has ulterior motives." And I tend to probably agree with that
right. I mean, that's
so
the,
far.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even know that he does that stuff on purpose. So than just that's how he feels. So he says stuff, and then the people that are, people just go, "Oh, he dissed Bill Gates. He must hate him." And it's like
Yeah.
those two guys just have a beef, but it's not like he's trying to take the
Yeah.
NWO down.
Yeah. Or the beef is fake and they are actually partying together on the weekends. Who knows?
Maybe on the
They could
Billionaire
be. And
Island.
like if what was I thinking there? He could I don't know. It's very I mean most likely I don't want to say most likely, but I think Ryan's right. Ryan's had a good point. It's like there's something sketchy there
Yeah,
either way. And it's so easy for these people to play charades and just, pretend to do one thing while they're doing the other. And we never know what's going on underneath the surface.
yeah,
It's like that dude said I think maybe I said it before. It's like the way it's supposed to work is that we are supposed to know everything about our governments and the people in
yeah.
control, and they're supposed to know nothing about us. But in today's age, it's flipped.
Opposite.
It's the
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah, and they're making rules and bills and spending money, and we have no say about anything.
Yeah, it's so funny because, uh, like we talked about questioning things. I saw another video where there was some senator or something was questioning a guy on spending money on the climate stuff, and he
Hmm.
was like, "So if you want to spend $50 trillion, how how much of an effect does that have then? Like, what are we getting for our money?"
Yeah.
And the dude just couldn't answer it. He refused to answer the question. It's like, but if you want to spend $50 trillion, wouldn't you be able to calculate what that is going to actually do for us?
Well, I want to know where we deposit money to nature. Like
Yeah,
carbon tax. How do we, can I just pay the environment directly?
you
Do I need to
you
go
can
through
hang a
you?
$100 bill in the tree. That
Do
works.
I, you know what I mean? Like, how does this work? Where do I put my money into nature to make sure that it thrives?
You
Does
dig it, you dig it down in your yard,
I
and
go
you
and buy
water it.
fertilizer and then fertilize the earth? Like, what exactly are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know. It's the whole climate. Dude, you should. I haven't released it yet, but you should listen to. I had Judith Curry on. She's a climatologist, 30, 40-year climatologist,
Hmm.
and she was on Jordan Peterson's podcast previously, and yeah, she's speaking out about all this shit.
Well, I saw something recently where 1,100 climatologists or whatever the fuck you call it
Yeah, yeah, climate scientist.
signed something that's saying that it was all bullshit.
Oh, really? So
Yeah,
they're making like it's like the COVID thing. The doctors come
yes.
together.
And guess what? All 1,100 have been discredited. Okay, they're all terrible climate scientists, and they all were just, acting up at work and just total dickheads.
Well, I
Like,
mean, the science is settled, man. There's no the science is settled. It is what it is.
yeah, cow farts, not our cars or anything else. Cow farts and oil drilling is ruining the planet.
Yeah. The interesting thing about that Judith Curry, she was saying, because I'm like, do you guys, what do you actually agree on? Is there anything you agree on? She was like, yeah, it is getting warmer a little bit, like, but not, it's not gonna burn, like the planet's not gonna burn,
Yeah.
and her whole thing is like, explain to me why it's bad that it's getting 1 degree warmer. Why is that bad? And no one can answer the question.
Because polar bears won't have icebergs to hang out on, and the sea level is going to rise, and and California is going to disappear into the water. Duh.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you look at it, I looked this up. How many polar bears were there in the 50s compared to now?
I know.
There's fucking more bears now.
And there's actually
Jesus
more
Christ.
ice. It's just on the other pole.
Yep.
So planet wise, we have more ice than we did before.
Yeah.
It's just not where they're shooting bears on glaciers.
Yeah. And I think Jordan Peterson was saying that the planet is actually 15% greener in the last, like, I don't know, 50 years or something. Even though we keep chopping down
Yeah,
like forests and stuff like that, it's getting greener still. How is that bad? I don't get it.
dude. You
Yeah.
need to pretend it's
All
bad.
right, dude.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. And if you guys have any other good ideas, shoot us some messages for shows. And
Oh,
other than that,
uh,
yeah, just thank. What do you got?
I got Ryan here. He says you guys should cover geoengineering. It explains yeah, I've seen this, the manipulation of weather. How they
So, I
they
actually
do they
did a
make like
joke.
fake clouds.
I did a
You
joke
what?
last night and said that the people that are controlling the weather need to talk to the people that are reporting the weather because they are not on the same page.
That's funny, man.
And it's like the
But
people
it's
controlling the
true.
weather probably own the news channel anyway. So it's like, what the fuck
Fuck
are we
yeah.
doing?
Dude, they were going to, and this is Bill Gates now. He tried to do an experiment in Sweden. They were going to shoot a bunch of particles up in the atmosphere
Hmm.
to block out the sun in a small town in northern Sweden. And they got pulled, it got stopped because of the people in the city didn't want it or something.
No shit.
But
Like
he's literally
fucking.
trying to block out the sun. The pale motherfucker. He needs some sun.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, no, we'll reduce skin cancer if nobody can get in the sun.
Oh yeah, sure. Or stop using sun lotion, idiot.
All right.
Yeah, all right,
Everybody,
dude. All
thank you
right,
guys
Ryan,
for
thanks for
watching.
watching.
Yeah, thanks for being on, Ryan. And oh, also Ryan, I am Mike Romanelli and I have been going back and forth, and we are talking about Free Thinkers Society. So we're just trying to figure out exactly how and when we're gonna do it. But we're probably it's looking good like that's going to come back. So and then we'll have to get you on there and Mike on here and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. We'll do all of it, man. Let's mix them